So, welcome back. I say welcome back because it's a new day for me. So, really welcome back to you. So, last night, it wasn't Sunday. Anyway, I finished off that I showed you, bending it, and I got this. So what I've done is I have intentionally weakened it on the backside. You'll see there's a line there. That's where a cutting disc has gone into it. I'll show you on the unbent piece. And then after that, after I bend it, because it is quite thick, it's quite hard to bend, and I haven't got a big hydraulic press to just bend it with. So I've got to weaken it so that it bends where I want it to bend. Bent it nice and straight, and then put some stitch welds on it on the back to give it that rigidity back again. Because it's all well and good. If you bent it, you go fully weld it, and it ends like a banana lengthways. That's not very useful. So stitch weld it, nice and strong, it's not going anywhere. But I'm going to show you a time lapse. This is another flat piece. What you can see, I've just basically scored the back, just made it a little bit weaker. And yeah, cue a time lapse of me doing that. I did the other one last night just so that you wouldn't see me struggling for an hour, 2 hours worth of time lapse, not getting anywhere. So. As you would have seen there, now I've got a matching set of opposites. You would have seen me put the stitch welds in the back, it was quite nice. And also you would have seen me at the end with some clamps on the edge of the table. That's because it did, even with those stitch welds, started to go a little bit banana-y on me. So while it was still hot, I clamped it down and got a wedge under one end. Just to straighten out a bit. And it straightened out a bit. It straightened out enough that I could work with it. It's not going to be detrimental to the project. So the next thing you're going to see is when we get a steel order, which should be, hopefully I'm not, touch wood, I'm not jinxing it, but should be this Thursday. So, well, you won't know what Thursday this is, but a Thursday, it will be here Thursday. At which point then you're going to see me make the big middle section and put them all together really. So yeah, it's going pretty good, and happy with the progress.
What you can see here is me just marking out and then cutting out a big centerpiece for one of the Duckets, and also getting a little side piece in on that same piece of steel as well. It's quite tight, but I'm trying to make as much use of the material I've got as possible.
So as you would have seen, cut all the pieces out. Next thing to do is to bend this big piece and rinse and repeat on this sheet possibly. I am still looking for the best use of the material overall, so there might be a little bit of joining what I've got left from the piece that I just cut this out and the remaining 2x1 sheet, because I've really got to get 3 out. So yeah, I'm now going to do that. Enjoy.
as you would have seen, I've just put all 3 pieces together. My apologies, it was slightly out of frame. Have looked at the footage. But all I've done is I've tacked them all together, and I've put in, here is a corner, you will see here the heat, and actually fairly, very good penetration there, but that's going to get welded over. Yeah, I've put in 4 4-inch welds. So we've got in the corner here, one on the back side, then obviously that one I've shown you, and that one, and then finally that one. And that's just the same on the other side. It's just really to stop them from adjusting themselves in transport. Although they're very well tacked together, it's just, you know, you just don't want that to happen. So next thing I'm going to do is you would have seen me cut the little slits in them in the big bit of metal for the centerpiece to bend it. I've just got to stitch them up like I would do, or like I have done here on this bit. Just got to stitch them up. Then probably next time you see me is you see me with all 4 duckets, probably exchanging them to Michael, and what he's going to do is he's going to fully weld it. He's going to make it look nice. He's going to make it look like basically it was never ever sheet metal and just been pressed by some by a big, you know, hydraulic press that's just, you know, put a bit of sheet metal in there, bam, it comes out as a full ducket, fully done, at least from the outside. So it will look like there's no welds, there's no undulations, it will look clean. And he will also cut the windows out, the little tiny windows that should sit about here. The reason we are leaving them until they're fully welded, because I would have done that, because it's probably better for me to have done them than him. But the reason we're leaving them is I've noticed on the one that's come off where I've cut it, when you're welding in here, the line of the window is about here, roughly. So all we've got is 30 mil of unsupported material. Now if we weld, as the weld shrinks, as he puts the bead in on the inside, even with weld sequencing to try and prevent warpage, even as he goes to do that inside bead, the likelihood is that as the metal cools, it's going to pull that 30 mil strip of metal that will be left after we cut the window out, and it's a recipe for disaster. So we're going to try and minimize that. It's going to be one of the last things he does is cut the windows out. Let's try and minimize warpage. It might work, it might not work, but it should give us better chances of working, because it means that the metal that is going to be left there is going to be better supported by the metal that is going to be taken out, which should hopefully stop the metal from moving as much when the weld is cooling, because weld can exert quite the force depending on what kind of, in my case, stick welding, electrode, or wire you're using, or flux core, whatever. They all have a little bit different knack to them, because some shrink quicker. I know with stick welding at least, you've got fast freeze electrodes, which are exactly what they say on the tin. They cool fast and they pull. If you put a tack of a fast freeze electrode on the end of a piece of metal that's laying flat on another piece of metal, you put a tack on one end, it will lift the other end up. It will just pull it up, even a very small tack. So we're going to try and minimise warpage. I'll try to keep it simple as possible, because quite a lot of you on here aren't going to have done any metal work. But please put down in the comment section below if I'm going into it too much, or if I'm not, what balance, because I don't want to bore you, and I also, if people want to know this stuff, I don't want to just leave it out, because when I know it and there's somebody out there that can maybe learn a little bit, I don't want to, I don't want them not to learn, because it's stuff that you pick up as you go along the way and as you're teaching yourself. It's not meant to be an educational video, but if you want to lean a little bit more that way, please put it down in the comment section below. If you don't, also put it down in the comment section below, and we'll hopefully make as many people happy as possible. Because if you all just want to see fabrication work and you don't care for what's going on, then I won't talk about it. But if you do, we'll talk about it more and we can go into it a bit more. But yeah, so that's what Michael's going to be doing. So now you're just going to see very quick time lapse of me putting all these stitches and finishing this ducket off. I will mark out the windows from the piece I've already got. I'll mark out where the window goes, because that means that then when Michael gets them, most of the paint shouldn't have rubbed off. Actually, to be fair, it shouldn't rub off at all. Be a few scratches, but that's to be expected in transportation. And then he can cut them out after he's welded it all. So I will see you when I've got 4 duckets, probably trying to exchange them from a car to another car. So yeah, enjoy.
As you would have seen, I've welded up the inside of the ducket. Haven't got a lot left to do now myself. I've just got to mark out the windows and just do a little bit of finishing touches from my end of what I'm going to do, including the fact that these sections on the side, front from your side to from the back, they're just slightly longer than the centerpiece. So I've just got to trim them up and mark out the windows so that Michael knows where to cut, because he isn't going to take any of the pieces that I've cut out and used as references to make this. So I need to mark it out for him. But yeah, it's actually come out really well. This ducket, I'm actually really happy with how it's come out. If you think it looks ugly, that's because it does at the moment. It just does. But that's why it's the beauty with metalwork, I find. Not all the time, but as you get closer to the finishing point, it gets better. Because I don't know what it just does. You start grinding welds away, you start adding smooth radiuses to corners, you put the windows in, you get it watertight for a start. That's usually helpful when something's going to be sitting out in all kinds of weather. But yeah, and apologies for any continuity issues. Apologies if I've referenced to a video that you never end up seeing. My apologies, it's because this has been filmed over 2 weeks so far. This isn't the first ducket I've made. This is actually ducket number 3. You haven't actually seen me make the entirety of this one. You've seen me make a bit of ducket 1, a bit of ducket 2, weld a bit of ducket 2, and then weld ducket 3. So my apologies for having continuity issues. I've just been coming in here and doing it as and when I've got the time. And yeah, it's been really enjoyable though. I have really enjoyed making these, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making them. I don't know, I'm looking at 30 minutes of footage at the moment, so I don't know whether it's going to be the end of video 1, end of video 2, or if you're going to see some footage that I've actually referenced to. So that's why. But personally, I've really enjoyed making them up to this point. A little bit monotonous, with doing the same things over and over again. But at the end of the day, for what I'm using to make them, I'm really happy, because they are coming out looking all the same size. They all slot in each other. I like little plastic cups, and the biggest gap I've got on them is a millimetre. So as far as continuity of the sizes of each part, they're coming out pretty close. Which, if you've ever tried to cut with a 4.5 inch angle grinder a straight line, you never get it exactly straight. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm very happy with it. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching, because I've enjoyed making them. And if you want to see any more after Michael's done his bit, because he will make this, we'll turn this into what looks like a project into a finished piece. Because there's a lot to do on it still, you wouldn't think it, but there is. As I've discovered, there's a lot of footage from not a lot really. But if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But if you've got any constructive criticism, etc., or any comments you've got to help us, or any advice, tips and tricks, leave them down in the comment section below, because me and Michael collectively will read them all. I know he's got a busy schedule, and so have I, but collectively we will end up reading them all. And if you've come from Ollie's video, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe. Because this is hopefully the beginning of hopefully a very interesting journey, not to only be a part of, but hopefully to watch. And you know, for every like you leave, for every person that subscribes, that helps us out. For every person that watches, that will help us improve. Every comment you leave, that will help us improve. Maybe not every single comment, but most of them. That will help us improve, which in turn means you're going to get a better video quality, or you should do, because as you tell us tips and tricks, even if, you know, nothing related to metalwork, you know, filming, whatever, if you have any experience in it, just drop it down below. Because we want to make good videos for you, because we've collectively, me and Michael, on the DMU Survive, we've done loads of work, and you know, if you do enjoy it, there's going to be tons more. We've spent years already on where we are, and if you've been on the Facebook page, we do have a Facebook page, if you've been on the Facebook page for long enough, you will know that. And if you come to the Facebook page, you know, this is also where we're going to put updates now, because we can give you a lot more detail for a lot less effort. Well, not on our part, but on your part. You can just watch a video and you'll get the entire update. But we're also going to still, it's not like we're just going to abandon Facebook. You know, updates will still go on there, because we understand that, you know, not everybody's going to come over and watch videos. But if you have and you like it, subscribe, because we will be putting out destination DMUs for however long. You know, it's a shame we didn't come up with the idea sooner, but you know, that's what it is. It is what it is. Even, you know, and yeah, if this has inspired you to go out and, you know, make something, do something, you know, heck, even taught you something, then, you know, and it gets you inspired, then go out and make something. Go out, you just see what you can do, because often me and Michael have found with things that, you know, have intimidated us as far as metalwork and the DMU goes, just got to jump in. Just, yeah, I say to him, just jump in, we'll work our way out of it. And we have, you know, every time when we've gone, oh God, this is a lot of work. I've just gone to, you know, just, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll come up with a solution for this and that, and we'll just do it, you know. Heck, we're going to find things that we didn't know were there. But it's all a process, you know. It's something that there is no manual for. And, you know, I started learning off of the very platform you're watching this from. So, yeah, if it inspires you to go out there, do something, it doesn't even have to be anything related to metalwork. Go for it. If, you know, if I inspire one person, that you know, that makes this worth doing. Because, you know, I love doing it. If you love doing it, if you love watching it, then yeah, go out and, you know, leave a comment saying it has, because that's what keeps, or at least it keeps us going, you know, seeing progress, and also, you know, inspiring other people, because it's, from our perspective, as far as the heritage side goes, it's dying very slowly. As the interest from younger people just isn't there. So if it interests you, because it doesn't have to be about anything to do with history of it, it can just, for me, it was the challenge of, here's something, fix it. That's how I, you know, that's how you know, I like challenges. That's how I get inspired. That's how I get my brain, you know, working. I'd love it. So if it does, go out, do it. If you've enjoyed it, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.